to the Mind of Basketball Podcast, also known as M.O.B Podcast, episode 101. I'm Evan.
And I'm Ja.
And this is our basketball podcast where we recap, break down, and analyze players and teams from previous games from the previous day. How are you, Sunday Ja?
I'm good.
You sure?
I'm tired, but I'm good.
What's going on in that background?
Don't worry.
It's still Vice City?
Yeah, it should be.
Should be?
Yeah.
Oh, hope nothing else pops up. Hope everyone's having a good day. Hope everyone will have a good day. A lot to discuss basketball in terms of last night games. Some pretty good game. Well, actually no, but some interesting things going around the league from last night. A lot of great performances from the players. And some shocking results as well. So let's get into it first. Starting off with the defending champions, Los Angeles Lakers, going up against the elite Brooklyn Nets, possibly a finals matchup. A lot of people have these two meeting in the finals later on. But we are not in the finals, we're still in the regular season. And as the regular season goes, for this game, this was a pretty interesting game.
No. It couldn't be interesting. It had to be an easy blowout for one team. It had to be an easy blowout. Trust me.
Yeah, you would think. No LeBron, no AD, obviously, they've been out. The Nets, just no Harden. No LeBron, AD, Kuzma.
Exactly.
No Harden.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a casual, so you know what I mean? So I expect for things like this to happen when I hear about things like that, like no Braun, no AD, no Kuzma versus just no Harden. The Nets should have this.
Yep, the Nets should have this. They should, and they didn't. But it was a interesting game in that first half. Really, two stars of that first half for the Nets was Kyrie. For the Lakers, it was Dennis Schroeder. Both of them got to the hot start. So hot that they both got ejected in that third quarter. As they were just going at it, basketball banter, just pretty much trash talking each other, going back and forth with each other. Kind of too long. They got a tech. They kept going. They got another tech, and two techs equals an ejection. So they both got sent out of there. And ever since that, the Lakers really just took that momentum and ran with it for the rest of that third quarter and for the rest of the game. And in a shocking result, the Lakers blow out the Brooklyn Nets. Your turn.
Oh, man. Wow. I did not. Well, let's be honest. Again, we seen teams of the
They
past.
play no defense, I told you.
Yes, that's one. They don't play no defense, especially in that second half. And their offense hit a huge stub. Like, you know what I mean? Their offense really couldn't get on the roll in that third quarter. And again, in today's NBA, the third quarter is basically like the new fourth quarter. Like, you need to get your roll going in order to see who's gonna have the advantage in the game. But wow, we've seen them teams pass before, teams that were in situations like the Lakers before, like the underdogs, the ones who don't have that much talent enough whatsoever. So people always overlooking them and always overshadowing them amongst the bigger team. We've seen how much they've had those chips on their shoulders to come out and prove that. And that's what the Lakers basically said. You're gonna constantly be hearing the chatter of a possible finals rematch and and what if the stars were all healthy and stuff like that to play in this game. But again, as you saw, what happened?
To correct you, said finals rematch. You mean a possible finals matchup?
That's possible finals matchup. Thank you. My bad.
Yes, but keep on.
A finals matchup. You want to see all the stars healthy, but when you have a situation like this, people are gonna always be quick to hop on one side and the other side just because based on what it looks like on paper. And the Lakers basically blew out the water right then and there. Andre Drummond had a really good game. McLemore had it going from three. The Lakers were playing amazing defense, and that's what I think was helping with it. What transitioning into their offense, like people just had it going and clicking from early into the end, and as a result, you could see they basically took the moment Kyrie left. Also, they basically took the fight away from the Nets, and the Nets still had KD and he still had Blake. So that shows a lot. That shows a lot.
Still at Aldridge, still at Harris, still at Green.
Exactly. Still had their whole team intact, and that happened. I couldn't believe it.
I mean, yeah, but one Durant is still on a little bit on a minute restriction, I believe.
Yeah.
I don't think they played him as much, as they would usually play him before the injury.
Yeah.
But still, no excuse. No excuse. But credit to the Lakers. I mean, Andre Drummond really stepped up to the plate. Along with Taylor Horton-Tucker, along with KCP, along with Ben McLemore as well, their new signing.
Yeah.
So yeah, got to give credit to this Lakers team. Got to give them credit for this win. And as a result, yeah, they shock the Brooklyn Nets. But all right, that was the only primetime game of the night. There was a few other games to talk about. So what should you like to talk about first? I mean, the games just
the first game. Nah, well, go ahead. You want to say something?
Nah, never mind. You keep going.
All right. So the first game I talk about is the Jazz versus the Kings, and
why?
Because somebody put up a 40-piece. That's why.
Because that was the only reason why you talking about this game.
Yep. So basically, don't get me wrong. Sacramento started off well in the first quarter, and yeah, they look like the Sacramento of old. And as a result,
wait, what? Sacramento of old? What old?
Of 2010s old. Of 2010s old, if that makes sense.
I mean, they sucked then. They suck now. That's not really. You can't really say 2010 is old. Really, if you say from like 2006 to now, it's been the same for Sacramento.
Look at when Mitch Richmond was on the team, that kind of bad.
When Mitch Richmond, I'm sounding like you. When Mitch Richmond was on the team,
yeah, basically, they were that bad.
Yeah, well, Sacramento seems to always gotta have one star, right, throughout their terrible tenure, and then just basically not do anything to build around that star, and then just ruin his career, waste his career.
Well, yep, there you go. I think you know who's the star of that team right now. He's basically the Mitch Richmond, and everyone else. Don't get me wrong. They got a lot of great young talent. So let me not compare that team to those teams of the past. But hey, you know how it is. And Utah basically took off this game in the second half. If Donovan Mitchell finished with 42 on the night, he was just straight up balling. And as a result, the Jazz were able to get the win. I think it would be kind of upsetting if the Jazz even lost to this team. That would be really an embarrassment anyway. Did it matter?
Well, you said upsets do happen. Anything's possible. So I mean,
yeah, you're right about that. But again, Sacramento. Sorry.
Sacramento taking the win. Wow. They wish. They wish. The Jazz taking the win, and Donovan Mitchell having a great performance, 42 on the night, some MVP chance. He's really been leading this team. I wouldn't say carry, but leading this team, best record in the league. He's been doing a fantastic job this season. Wish he got a little bit more credit for it. I know he wishes that too. Well, maybe he doesn't care about it, because at the end of the day, you know what they want. You know what this team wants at the end of the day. And that's what every team wants. Championship. So there you go.
Yep. And the second game I would like to talk about is basically the same reason why I also talked about the first game that I just spoke about. The Cavs versus the Raptors, and let's just get it out the way. Gary Trent Jr., a new man since leaving Portland, I guess, huh? 44 in a night and just pure hooping and pure shooting display. He just had it going on the whole night, man. And basically, the Raptors been took the fight away from the Cavs. I'm sorry. There's not that much to really get into with this.
Yeah, Gary Trent, he's really been stepping into that role in Toronto.
Yeah.
He's really been able to improve on his game and really kind of be more free. I mean, going from leaving from playing with CJ McCollum and Damian Lillard, you got to get a lot more touches.
Yeah.
You got to get a lot more opportunities to score. And so, especially with this struggling Raptors team, they're gonna need all the help they can get.
Yeah. Yes, you're right about that. And I think, but here's the thing that I really love. As good of a talent as Gary Trent Jr. is, let's be honest, Dame CJ taught him how to like be that hooper a night in and night out. Now that you got the opportunity, like and you had the opportunity to watch a great backcourt in them, I feel like Gary Trent, he's probably taking that and now he's doing his own thing and he's implementing his own style up there in Toronto whenever he has the opportunity to do so.
Yeah, and he's been doing a great job. We had the buzzer beater a few nights ago. Now he has 40-piece, 44 points against this terrible Cavs team.
Look, man, that game winner is so embarrassing still, man. I swear. The dude was wide open. Like God really opened up the heaven gates for him to make that shot. I swear.
Well,
Capital my butt. Now that was the actual capital. Yeah, nah, I'm not gonna. That's it. That's what I'm gonna say. That was the actual capital. That's all I gotta say. That was the actual capital right there.
you yelling.
I'm just saying, man.
All right. News around the league. Just one piece of news, one big news, as the Timberwolves found themselves a new owner for their terrible franchise. They have two new owners. One, a businessman by the name of Mark Lore, and the other, former Yankees baseball player, one of their greatest of all time, A-Rod, Alex Rodriguez, now buying the Timberwolves along with, as I said, Mark Lore. Hopefully they can just lead the Timberwolves out of a purgatory. I don't. What are they in right now? Actually, no. Purgatory means that they would have been
They
good.
down. They're down real
Yeah.
bad. They're down real bad. I don't think they're in purgatory. I feel like what happened this season may look like they're in purgatory, but I don't think they're in purgatory. They got a good enough roster and talent to try to be close to the playing game. I'm not gonna say be that deep in the playoffs, but to be in the playing game, they got their cornerstone, great talent. Karl Anthony Towns, no question about that. Could go down as the most skilled center in NBA history, in my opinion, or second most skilled. Cause I don't think anybody gonna be more skilled than Hakeem. But yeah, they got a great guard in D'Angelo Russell, who's really young. They got another great guard, Anthony Edwards. Like this team is good. They got Malik Beasley. They got Jalen. I think his name Jalen McDaniels. I could be wrong. They got pieces down there. They got pieces that if they keep and just develop more, they could be making some noise in down the line.
Yeah, you did a good job of bringing them up after I just shit on them. Or after I just shat on them. But yeah, as you said, yeah, they do have a lot of young talent, a lot of young pieces. But new ownership, we'll see what they can do.
Yeah.
We'll see if Timberwolves can, finally give those fans something to, really, really cheer for, really, really be proud of from the near future. But all right, it is prediction time for tonight's set of games. Looking like a pretty good lineup. So let's start off with the Atlanta Hawks and the Charlotte Hornets.
Atlanta.
Atlanta, two teams close in that Eastern Conference, gonna need this win.
Yeah.
First primetime game of the night, NBA TV, 3 o'clock. The Boston Celtics going up against the hot comeback kids from Colorado, Denver Nuggets.
The comeback kids of Colorado.
And Eric Gordon. Denver Nuggets. The fast forwarding to the night, 7 o'clock. The New Orleans Pelicans going up against the Cavs.
Pals.
Pels. The Bucks going up against the Magic.
Bucks.
Bucks. Maybe it was game 1, Magic, but the Bucks. The Toronto Raptors going up against the New York Knicks.
The Knicks.
The Knicks. The Spurs going up against the Mavericks.
Mavericks.
The Mavericks. The Pacers going up against the Grizzlies.
Pacers.
Grizzlies. The Bulls going up against the Timberwolves.
Ooh, I'm going to go with the Bulls.
Go with the Bulls as well. The Pistons going up against the Clippers.
Clippers.
The Clippers. And lastly, last game of the night and primetime game, NBA TV, 10 o'clock. The Miami Heat going up against the Portland Trailblazers.
Miami.
But all right. Also, I forgot to talk about one game that happened last night, or really just one player. The Pistons and the Portland Trailblazers really just want to talk about Enes Kanter because he really just dominated that Pistons team down low in the paint. Franchise record-breaking 30 rebounds and 12 offensive rebounds on the night, finishing the game with a 24-30 game.
What? A 12 offensive, you said 12 offensive rebound?
12 offensive rebounds, 30 on the night.
He thought he was Kevin Love. Okay.
Anybody could be Kevin Love against that Pistons team.
Basically.
All right, let me stop shitting on teams. All right. I think it's time to wrap things up. Any final thoughts?
Wow. Congratulations, Mr. Kanter. All right.
Yeah, he's been having himself a great year for the Blazers. He really has.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He has.
But you want to change your opinions about the Nets now? Because this loss?
No. Let me tell you something. We've seen it so many times before in which regular season does not always output the same way as the postseason. Common example, you should know.
There's a lot more examples than that.
Yeah, there's a lot more examples than that, but a prime example that you should know that we always talk about off the air.
Yep, you can allude to that. You can allude to some guy who was like 6'10" crying in the center court with the ball wrapped around his arms. You can allude to comeback kids from Colorado as well. There's a lot of regular season playoff finals,
Mm-hmm. You just look at the ugly sister.
Nobody wants to look at them. That's why they're the ugly sister.
Hey, they glowed up. They fooled me. They fooled me with a lot of that makeup they had on. They fooled me big time.
Well, they're trying to put on the makeup now. We'll see if it stays on.
Yep. Or is it water resistant?
That was a good one. You don't have many of those, but that was a good one.
Hey man, I could get it. I try to get it whenever I get the chance. You know what I mean?
Yep. So we just got to end it right there before you keep going on. With that being said, thank you guys for watching today's podcast. Make sure you tune into tomorrow's podcast. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe.
Also follow IG down in the description below.
And once again, I am Evan.
And I'm Jack.
And this was the Mind of Basketball podcast.